Welcome, friends. Today we embark on a gentle and inspiring journey, a journey about renewal, creativity, and joy that knows no age. Turning 60 and beyond is not the end of discovery. It is the opening of a new door. This is the season when time becomes a precious ally, offering you the chance to learn, to explore, and to laugh in ways that a busy, earlier life may not have allowed. For the next few hours, imagine we are sitting together in a sunlit room, or perhaps walking slowly through a quiet garden. I will guide you through a wide array of hobbies and pursuits, simple to adventurous, solitary to social, that can reignite curiosity and fill your days with purpose. Each idea comes with stories, reflections, and practical tips, so you can picture yourself beginning right away. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's wander through the landscape of joyful new beginnings. Chapter 1. The New Season of Life. Take a slow breath in, letting the air fill your chest, and then release it gently. As you do, imagine that each exhale carries away the weight of old expectations, the rushing deadlines, the demands of decades gone by, the self-imposed schedules that once defined your everyday. Now picture yourself standing at the threshold of a vast and beautiful new landscape. This is the season of life that begins when the world finally grows quiet enough for you to hear the whisper of your own heart. Turning 60 is often described as entering the golden years. But gold is only one color of this rich new palette. Think of it instead as the season of becoming, a chapter not of slowing down but of opening up. Children may be grown, careers may be complete or gently winding down, and what stretches before you is a wide horizon of possibility. Where earlier decades asked you to build and provide, these years invite you to create and explore. Imagine the sun at mid-morning. Warm, not harsh. Steady, not hurried. That is the energy of this time of life. It is a light that encourages growth without the scorching urgency of noon. The garden of your days is ready for new seeds, new colors, and new fragrance. Many people reach 60 and feel a quiet question forming. Who am I now? It is not a question of loss, but of invitation. For decades you may have answered to roles: parent, partner, professional, caretaker. Now the deeper self, the one who has been patiently waiting, steps forward and says, "Let's begin again." To begin again at 60 is a radical and wonderful act. It means you can embrace curiosity without fear of failure. It means you can learn purely for the joy of learning, create purely for the pleasure of creating. It means that the hobbies you once set aside, the guitar gathering dust, the sketchbook hidden in a drawer, the garden you dreamed of planting, can finally come alive. Pause for a moment and let a memory drift in. Perhaps it is the scent of paint in an art studio from your school days. Perhaps the sound of a foreign language you always wished to speak. Perhaps the rhythm of dance steps you once followed under twinkling lights. These memories are not idle nostalgia. They are breadcrumbs back to your authentic self. The new season of life also invites a different relationship with time. Earlier decades often felt like a sprint, children to raise, careers to chase, responsibilities to juggle. Now time stretches like a welcoming path through a forest. You are free to walk, to notice the play of sunlight on leaves, to stop and sit beside a stream. In practical terms, this means you can devote an afternoon to learning a single guitar chord, spend an entire morning photographing the changing sky, or lose yourself in the quiet of a library without the nagging tick of the clock. This chapter is not about what you have left behind, but about what is finally within reach. Studies on positive aging consistently show that people who continue to learn, to create, and to connect, people who keep curiosity alive, experience greater well-being and even longer, healthier lives. But beyond research, there is a deeper truth. Creativity nourishes the soul. It reminds us that we are not merely passing through the world. We are active participants in its ongoing creation. Consider the many doorways waiting for you. A sunlit corner where a canvas and brushes stand ready. A circle of fellow learners practicing gentle Tai Chi in the park. A quiet desk where a new language waits to unfold, one beautiful word at a time. Each doorway leads to a space where joy lives. And joy, at this stage of life, is not a fleeting thrill, but a steady companion. Some people worry that starting something new after 60 is too late. But think of great artists, writers, and explorers who began their most celebrated work in their later years. Grandma Moses did not begin painting seriously until her 70s. Frank McCourt wrote his Pulitzer Prize-winning memoir Angela's Ashes after retirement. These stories remind us that the human spirit is timeless. Your creativity is not bound by age. It is bound only by the willingness to begin. Perhaps you feel a twinge of nervousness. That is natural. Starting fresh requires courage. But courage here does not mean fearlessness. It means choosing to begin in spite of fear. It means showing up to the empty canvas, the blank page, the silent dance floor, and letting the first tentative step be enough. As you listen to this chapter, let gentle possibilities drift through your mind. Visualize small beginnings. A half hour with a sketchbook, a first walk with a local photography club, an introductory cooking class. See yourself laughing, experimenting, meeting kindred spirits who share your enthusiasm. Notice how your heart feels lighter when you imagine these moments. This new season is also about connection, not just with others, but with yourself. Hobbies are pathways to self-discovery. When you paint, you meet the part of you that notices color and shadow. When you dance, you meet the part that delights in movement and music. When you volunteer, you meet the part that longs to give and receive love freely. So, as we close this opening chapter, remember, 60 is not an ending. It is a threshold. Ahead lies a garden of hobbies waiting to bloom, creative, physical, intellectual, spiritual. Each one is an invitation to joy, a celebration of the self that is ready, finally, to play. Take another deep breath. Feel the quiet excitement of new beginnings, because this is your time. This is the new season of life. Chapter 2. Creative Arts. Painting, photography, writing, and the joy of expression. When we think of creativity, it is tempting to picture youth, nimble hands sketching, a young musician lost in the rhythm of a late-night jam session. But creativity is not the property of any particular age. It is the birthright of every human being, a quiet flame that waits patiently until we are ready to tend it. And in many ways, the 60s and beyond are the ideal time to let that flame grow. In earlier decades, you may have longed to paint, to sculpt, to photograph the world through your own lens. Yet practical concerns always came first: jobs, children, bills, the endless list of daily obligations. But now, in this new season of life, the gift of time opens its palm. You can finally give your creative spirit the attention it deserves. The gentle invitation of painting. Imagine a blank canvas stretched before you. Its whiteness is not empty. It is alive with possibility. The first stroke of color, whether a bold sweep of crimson or the quiet hush of pastel blue, feels like a small miracle. You do not need to have formal training. In fact, many seasoned artists will tell you that the purest art emerges when you release the pressure to be good and simply let your hand move. Begin simply. A set of watercolor paints and a small sketchbook can be enough to open the door. Start with shapes, then let them blend into landscapes or abstract dreams. Notice how time slows as the brush moves. Painting is not only a visual art. It is a meditation, a way of listening to your own inner rhythm. There is also a subtle joy in color itself. Consider the deep greens of a forest in spring, the bright oranges of a sunset over the sea. As you mix pigments, you are mixing memories, emotions, and fragments of your own life story. Every painting, no matter how simple, is a conversation between the world and your soul. The lens of discovery, photography. If painting feels daunting, perhaps photography will call to you. Photography invites you to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. A dewdrop trembling on a morning leaf, the lined but luminous face of a friend, the quiet geometry of light and shadow on an old brick wall. The beauty of photography today is that you do not need expensive equipment. A modest camera or even a smartphone can capture breathtaking images. What matters is the act of seeing, of slowing down enough to notice. Try this. Take a slow walk through your neighborhood and challenge yourself to find 5 small moments of beauty you have never noticed before. A crack in the sidewalk that looks like a river delta, a reflection of clouds in a rain puddle. These details have always been there. Your camera simply teaches you to pay attention. Join a local photography club or an online group where you can share your images. Feedback from others can spark ideas and deepen your appreciation for different perspectives. You may even decide to create a personal photo essay, a visual diary of this chapter of your life, celebrating the people, places, and small wonders that give it texture. The written word, journals, memoirs, and stories. Perhaps your art will take the form of words. Writing is one of the most accessible and rewarding creative outlets. A notebook and a pen are all you need. Begin with journaling. Set aside 15 minutes each morning or evening to capture the day's thoughts. Write without censorship. Do not worry about grammar or punctuation. This is your private space, a conversation with yourself. From journaling, you may find the urge to write stories, perhaps short fiction, inspired by moments in your past, or even a full memoir. Your life contains countless tales waiting to be told. The challenges you overcame, the friendships that shaped you, the quiet triumphs no one else saw. Remember, your experiences are unique, and sharing them can become a gift to future generations. If the blank page feels intimidating, try writing prompts. Describe the scent of your childhood kitchen, or write about a time you felt completely at peace. Each prompt is a small door. Walk through it and see where it leads. Consider joining a local writers group or an online community. Reading your words aloud to a supportive audience can be both exhilarating and healing. You might even compile your favorite pieces into a self-published book, leaving a tangible legacy for your children and grandchildren. Music, dance, and mixed media creativity rarely stays in one lane. As you paint or write, you may feel drawn to other forms, music, dance, or mixed media that combines sound, movement, and visual art. Perhaps you once played an instrument and set it aside. Pick it up again. Your fingers may be slower, but your heart is wiser. Each note carries decades of life experience. Or perhaps you have always wanted to dance. Ballroom, folk, even contemporary improvisation. Dance is both art and exercise, a celebration of the body's ability to express joy. Many community centers offer beginner classes specifically for adults, where the atmosphere is warm and welcoming. Mixed media opens endless possibilities. Collages of photographs and fabric, sculptures incorporating found objects, digital art that blends traditional painting with modern technology. The goal is not perfection but play, the inner transformation. As you explore these creative avenues, notice what happens within. Creativity has a gentle but profound effect on the mind and spirit. Studies show it can reduce stress, sharpen memory, and even enhance problem-solving skills. But beyond science, there is something more mysterious, a feeling of wholeness, as if the act of creating reconnects you with a part of yourself that has always been waiting. You may find that time disappears when you are absorbed in your art. Hours pass like minutes. This state of deep focus, known as flow, is a source of quiet happiness. It is the mind at play, fully alive. Creativity also builds community. Art classes, writing circles, photography walks, each brings you into contact with others who share your curiosity. Friendships blossom naturally in these spaces, founded on mutual inspiration rather than obligation. A legacy of beauty as you fill canvases, capture photographs, and write stories. You are also leaving a legacy. Your art becomes a record of who you are and what you cherish. It may hang in your children's homes, appear in local exhibitions, or simply live on your shelves, waiting for a grandchild to discover. In every case, it carries your spirit forward. Imagine decades from now, someone holding one of your paintings or reading your words. They will feel your presence in the brushstrokes and sentences. Through art, you speak across time. Taking the first step, all that remains is to begin. Set a small, joyful goal for the coming week. Buy a sketchbook. Write one page. Take 5 photographs. The important thing is not the result, but the act of starting. Remember, creativity is not a race. It is a lifelong companion. Whether you are 60, 70, or 90, your imagination is ageless. Chapter 3. Movement and Vitality. Rediscovering the joy of a living body. Take a slow breath in, feeling the steady rhythm of your heart. Now, gently roll your shoulders back and notice how even the smallest motion awakens a subtle current of energy. Movement is life. Long before we wrote poems or painted canvases, we expressed ourselves by moving. As children, we danced without music, ran without a finish line, climbed trees simply to see the sky. And though the years may have added wisdom and a few creaks to the joints, the body still carries that same ancient impulse. To move, to stretch, to explore. A body built for renewal. One of the quiet miracles of the human body is its ability to adapt at any age. Science confirms that muscles respond to training well into our 80s and beyond. Bones grow stronger with weight-bearing activity. Balance and coordination improve when practiced. The story that movement belongs to youth is simply not true. Your body may whisper more loudly now. Warm up first, it might say, or be kind to those knees, but it is still capable of strength, grace, and even playful surprise. Walking. The original practice. Let us begin with the most natural movement of all. Walking. No equipment. No special schedule. Only a good pair of shoes and curiosity. Walking is meditation in motion. The steady rhythm of your steps calms the mind and gently strengthens the heart. Take a morning stroll through a quiet neighborhood or an evening wander beneath the stars. Notice how the simple act of placing one foot after another awakens the senses. The scent of grass after rain, the cool brush of twilight air, the sound of distant laughter. To deepen the practice, try mindful walking. Match your breath to your steps. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 4. Feel the connection between breath, body, and earth. This is more than exercise. It is communion with the present moment. Tai Chi and Qigong. The poetry of motion. From walking, we move to the graceful art of Tai Chi. Often called meditation in motion, Tai Chi weaves slow, deliberate movements into a flowing dance of energy. Each gesture, hands rising like clouds, weight shifting like waves, strengthens muscles while calming the nervous system. Research shows that regular practice improves balance, reduces blood pressure, and enhances mental clarity. Qigong, a related practice, uses gentle sequences and breathwork to cultivate vitality. Imagine standing in a quiet park at dawn, the world hushed except for birdsong, your body moving like water in response to breath. The benefits are subtle yet profound. Improved posture, a sense of inner spaciousness, and a deepened awareness of life's quiet rhythms. The quiet power of strength training. Many people shy away from the idea of lifting weights after 60, but strength training is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Muscle mass naturally declines with age, but it can be rebuilt and maintained with simple, progressive exercises. You do not need heavy barbells or a crowded gym. Resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even bodyweight movements, squats to a chair, wall push-ups, gentle lunges are enough. Think of strength training not as body sculpting, but as freedom training. Stronger muscles mean easier stair climbs, steadier balance, and confidence in everyday tasks. It means carrying groceries without strain and playing with grandchildren without fatigue. Each session is an investment in independence, dance, joy in motion. Perhaps you long for something more playful. Dance is music made visible. From ballroom to salsa, line dancing to folk traditions, dance blends movement with community. It strengthens the heart, improves coordination, and floods the brain with endorphins, the natural chemicals of happiness. Picture yourself in a softly lit studio or community hall. Music begins and bodies sway in time. There is laughter when someone missteps, cheers when the rhythm clicks. Age dissolves in the joy of movement. Dance reminds us that the body is not only a vessel of duty, but an instrument of celebration. Yoga. Flexibility of body and mind yoga offers another gentle yet powerful path. Its postures, mountain, tree, warrior, are invitations to explore balance and stretch. But beyond physical benefits, yoga teaches presence. Each breath-linked movement draws attention inward, creating a calm clarity that lingers long after the mat is rolled away. If traditional classes feel intimidating, seek out gentle yoga, chair yoga, or classes specifically designed for older adults. The essence of yoga is not in touching your toes, but in listening to your body and honoring its wisdom. Gardening as movement. Not all movement needs a studio or instructor. Gardening is a quiet dance with the earth. Digging, bending, carrying soil. These natural motions strengthen muscles and keep joints supple. And there is a special reward. A garden that blooms with color or offers fresh herbs and vegetables to your kitchen. Each planted seed is a promise, each harvest a celebration. Adventure at any age. For those who crave a touch of adventure, hiking offers both movement and wonder. Choose trails that suit your ability, from gentle woodland paths to rolling hills. Bring a friend, a walking stick, and a spirit of curiosity. The changing seasons will reward you. The soft green of spring, the gold of autumn, the crisp silence of winter snow. Cycling, too, can be adapted for every level. A comfortable upright bike or an electric assist bicycle opens miles of scenery while keeping joints happy. The breeze on your face becomes a reminder of freedom. The inner landscape. As you explore these forms of movement, notice the transformation within. Physical activity releases endorphins, the brain's natural mood lifters, but it also cultivates resilience. It teaches patience. Progress measured not in sudden leaps but in quiet, steady gains. It builds confidence, proving that strength and vitality are not confined to youth. Movement is also an act of gratitude. Each stretch, each step, each heartbeat is a way of honoring the remarkable body that has carried you through 6 decades and more. You are not merely exercising. You are expressing reverence for life itself. Creating your rhythm begins small. 10 minutes of walking, a few gentle stretches upon waking. The goal is consistency, not perfection. Let movement become as natural as breathing, woven into daily rituals. A stroll after breakfast, Tai Chi before dinner, a dance in the kitchen while soup simmers. Celebrate each milestone. The first time you walk a mile without pause, the day balance poses feel steady. These moments, though quiet, are triumphs of the spirit. Chapter 4. Music and Language. The Art of Lifelong Learning. Close your eyes for a moment and listen, not only to the sounds around you, but to the quiet music of memory. Perhaps you hear the echo of a childhood lullaby, the crisp rhythm of a marching band, or the lilting syllables of a language once overheard on a distant journey. These memories are more than nostalgia. They are invitations. At 60 and beyond, you carry decades of listening within you, and now you have the time to let those sounds blossom into new skills. The timeless call of music is one of humanity's oldest companions. Long before written words, people gathered around fires and beat drums to celebrate the turning of seasons. That ancient instinct, to create rhythm and melody, still hums in our bones. You do not need to be a prodigy or to read a single note of sheet music to answer the call. Perhaps you once played the piano, guitar, or flute in school. Even if those instruments have been silent for decades, muscle memory sleeps lightly. Your fingers may be slower, but your heart is wiser. Begin again with gentle curiosity. Start with simple exercises, a single scale, a favorite tune played slowly. Each note will awaken a piece of your past and open a doorway to fresh joy. If you have never played an instrument, there has never been a better time to start. Modern technology places entire music schools in your living room. Online tutorials, interactive apps, and community classes for beginners make it easy to learn at your own pace. A ukulele or keyboard is inexpensive and forgiving for newcomers, while a hand drum or simple percussion instruments offer instant gratification and a direct path to rhythm. The voice as instrument, and then there is the instrument you already possess, your voice. Singing is both music and medicine. It deepens breathing, strengthens posture, and releases endorphins. Join a community choir, a local folk group, or even an informal sing-along circle at a coffee shop. You will find that voices joined together create not only harmony, but friendship. Do not worry about perfection. A seasoned voice carries character. The tiny cracks and husky tones that come with age give songs a depth no young singer can imitate. Think of the soulful resonance of jazz greats or folk legends whose voices ripen like well-aged wine. Instruments of the heart. Every instrument offers a unique conversation with the self. The piano invites introspection, its keys like stepping stones across an inner river. The guitar encourages storytelling, chords weaving words into song. Wind instruments teach the discipline of breath, each phrase a meditation. Drums awaken the heartbeat of the earth, grounding and exhilarating all at once. Choose the instrument that speaks to you. Let intuition, not practicality, be your guide. Perhaps the cello's warm resonance calls your name, or the bright sparkle of a mandolin. Follow that pull. The instrument you love will sustain you through the early, awkward days of practice. Language. The music of words. Parallel to music is another lifelong art, learning a new language. Language is music woven into meaning. Every tongue carries its own rhythm, melody, and worldview. When you learn a new language, you learn to hear the world differently. You may have dreamed of speaking Italian while strolling through Florence, or of chatting in Japanese during a springtime visit to Kyoto. Perhaps you wish to connect more deeply with a grandchild who is bilingual, or to explore your own ancestral roots. Whatever the motivation, the rewards are profound. Neuroscientists have found that studying a language strengthens memory. sharpens problem-solving skills, and even delays cognitive decline. But beyond science lies the simple delight of new words on your tongue. The first time you order a meal in a foreign cafe and are understood, you feel a quiet triumph, proof that curiosity is ageless. How to begin? Start with small, consistent steps. 15 minutes a day is more powerful than an occasional marathon session. Apps like Duolingo or Babbel can guide you through the basics. Supplement digital lessons with real conversation. Join a language exchange group. Attend a local meetup, or find a conversation partner online. Immerse yourself in the culture as well as the vocabulary. Listen to music in the language you are learning. Watch films with subtitles. Cook traditional recipes. Language is more than grammar. It is a living bridge to another way of seeing the world. Combining music and language are natural allies. Songs in a new language provide rhythm and repetition that accelerate learning. Singing foreign lyrics helps with pronunciation and memory, while also bringing joy to practice sessions. Imagine learning French through chansons, Spanish through flamenco ballads, or Swahili through vibrant African harmonies. The marriage of melody and speech makes every lesson a celebration. Community and connection. Both music and language invite connection. Join a local band, a world music drum circle, a multilingual book club, or a choir that travels to perform abroad. Each rehearsal, each conversation opens doors to friendships across generations and cultures. You will find that shared creativity transcends age and background. The inner symphony, as you practice scales or conjugate verbs, notice the subtle changes within. The discipline of daily practice nurtures patience. The thrill of progress fosters confidence. Your mind becomes more flexible, your heart more open. Music and language are mirrors. They reveal not only what you learn, but who you are becoming. Consider this. A 75-year-old beginner violinist once said, "Each note is a new wrinkle in my soul, but it's a beautiful one." That sentiment captures the essence of lifelong learning. Every sound, every phrase is a celebration of growth. First steps. This week, choose one small action to begin. Borrow a library book on music theory. Download a beginner's language app. Attend a free community choir rehearsal. Order an inexpensive ukulele and strum your first chord. Whatever you choose, remember that the journey matters more than the destination. There is no rush to perform or achieve. The joy lies in the daily return to sound and syllable. A closing reflection. Music and language remind us that life is not measured only in years, but in moments of wonder. They invite us to keep listening, to keep speaking, to keep singing our way through the world. At 60, 70, or beyond, your voice and your curiosity remain powerful instruments. All they ask is that you play. Chapter 5. Mind and Spirit. Inner Practices. For a luminous life, close your eyes and take a slow, full breath. Feel the rise of your chest, the quiet expansion of your ribs, the gentle release as the breath flows out. In this simple moment, you have already begun to enter the realm of the inner life, a realm that becomes ever more inviting as the years unfold. If the earlier chapters have celebrated creativity of the hands and movement of the body, this chapter celebrates the creativity of the soul. The quiet invitation. After 60, many people discover a surprising spaciousness in their days. Responsibilities shift, the constant noise of busyness softens, and a subtle question begins to form. What does my spirit need now? It is a question of depth, of meaning, of connection to something larger than the daily schedule. Whether you name that something God, the universe, the great mystery, or simply the quiet pulse of life itself, it calls for attention. The practice of stillness meditation is one of the oldest answers to that call. At its heart, meditation is not an escape but an arrival, arriving fully in the present moment, letting thoughts drift like clouds while you rest in the sky of awareness. You need no special cushion or incense. Simply sit comfortably, close your eyes if you wish, and notice the breath. When thoughts arise, and they will, acknowledge them gently and return to the breath. Start with 5 minutes a day. Gradually extend to 10, then 20. The benefits, confirmed by countless studies, include lower stress, steadier emotions, improved sleep, and a subtle but profound sense of inner clarity. But beyond science lies a deeper gift, the recognition that you are more than your thoughts. You are the space in which those thoughts appear. If sitting meditation feels difficult, explore walking meditation. Choose a quiet path. With each step, silently say, "Here," as you lift your foot, and "Now," as you place it down. The world becomes vivid. The crunch of gravel, the scent of pine, the rhythm of your heartbeat. Prayer and sacred reading. For those who follow a spiritual tradition, prayer may be the most natural way to commune with the infinite. Prayer need not be confined to formal words. It can be a whispered gratitude, a silent listening, a heartfelt plea, or simply the act of sitting in the presence of mystery. Sacred texts, whether the Bible, the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, the poetry of Rumi, or the meditations of Marcus Aurelius, offer timeless companionship. Choose a passage each morning, read it slowly, and let the words settle like rain into soil. Notice which phrases linger. They are often the ones your spirit most needs. Journaling for the Soul, a spiritual journal, can become a daily altar. Each page receives your reflections, prayers, and small revelations. Write about dreams, intuitions, and the subtle nudges of the heart. Over time, these pages reveal patterns, a gentle map of your own evolving wisdom. Breath and energy. Practices. Beyond stillness lies movement imbued with awareness. Breathwork or pranayama uses conscious breathing to balance the nervous system and awaken vitality. Simple patterns: inhale for a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6, can calm the mind and energize the body. Similarly, gentle energy practices such as Qigong or Kundalini Yoga invite a sense of inner flow. These traditions teach that life force, or Qi, moves through the body like a river. When you move and breathe with intention, you help that river run clear. Philosophy as spiritual nourishment. Spiritual growth does not always require religion. Philosophy can also guide the soul. Read the Stoics, Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, for wisdom on resilience and serenity. Explore modern thinkers who blend science and wonder. Alan Watts on the nature of self, Mary Oliver on the holiness of the natural world. Allow their words to spark your own reflections. Consider joining a philosophy circle or starting a small discussion group. Gather with friends to read a single passage and share insights. The conversation itself becomes a form of communion. Nature as temple. Step outside and you will find that the earth itself is a cathedral. The hush of a forest, the endless rhythm of waves, the silent majesty of a star-filled sky, each speaks a language older than words. Spending time in nature calms the mind and awakens a sense of belonging to something vast and eternal. Try greeting the day with a dawn walk. Watch how the first light touches the leaves. Feel how the world renews itself every morning, and know that you too are renewed. Acts of service. Spiritual growth is not only inward. It flows outward in acts of kindness. Volunteering at a shelter, mentoring a young person, helping a neighbor. These are prayers in motion. Service dissolves the illusion of separation and reminds us that love is the true measure of a life. Building daily rituals. To weave these practices into daily life, create small rituals. Light a candle as you write your morning journal. Pause for 3 deep breaths before each meal. Set aside one evening a week as a quiet night, free of screens, devoted to reflection or reading. Rituals anchor the spirit in a world that often feels unmoored. Embracing mystery. Finally, accept that some questions will never be answered. What happens after we die? Why is there something rather than nothing? The mind longs for certainty, but the soul is nourished by wonder. Let mystery be a companion, not a problem to be solved. Stand beneath the stars and feel the vastness. Know that you are both infinitesimal and infinite. A closing reflection. As you move through meditation, prayer, journaling, philosophy, and service, notice how your inner life grows spacious and luminous. This is not about escaping the world, but about entering it more fully, with a heart at peace and eyes awake to beauty. At 60, 70, or 90, the spirit is ageless. It asks only that you listen.